Manchester United is set to take on Brighton as the Premier League returns this weekend at Old Trafford. Big game for Man United, and you all know what we need out of this game. If there is anything that we win, if there is anything that we need, it's nothing less than a loss. We just need a win of any nature. You know, sometimes to gain stability, you just have to go ahead and obviously win these games and obviously create what we call demand from the players, and obviously that demand is supposed to be showcased on the field of play. From United losing to Arsenal 3-1, meaning that our first two games that we played away from home, we've gone ahead to lose both of them. That is it. So we need to obviously charge up and obviously find ourselves beating Brighton at Old Trafford, something that I believe is obviously going to happen. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I think you guys are really having a fantastic a fantastic evening, and those that have gone ahead to go to bed, it's nice, and we come in through as we always do. We obviously do this roundup of a match preview of United before this game really comes to pass. Tomorrow, it's obviously a press conference of Erik ten Hag, and we are yet to hear from him on the fitness levels of the following players that are really doubtful. Sofian Amrabat, remember, he was obviously told to come to Man United as a precaution, and we don't know whether he's obviously going to be fit for the game of Man United versus Brighton, but earlier stories have indicated to us that there is hope that this player is going to be available. Then Lisandro Martinez is another one, and he trained with the Argentina national team but never played any single game they played because they really thought that he needs to be really reserved. So assessment is going to be made on him tomorrow, even today, to see to it that the guy is fit for the game of Brighton. As I've told you in the first video, I rather reserve him for the game of Bayern Munich that we're going to play away from home, because you cannot play out Bayern Munich without Lisandro Martinez and Lindelof. That is it. Then Tyrell Malacia long, Luke Shaw out. Mason Mount is another one. He's targeting his return as United play Brighton, and wait and see what Erik ten Hag is going to say about it. But if at all he does not make it to the bench as we play Brighton, I expect Mason Mount to be back when you're playing Bayern Munich over all in the due course of the midweek. The other player is Kobbie Mainoo. He's still out. Amad Diallo also still out. Tom Heaton, no positive news yet. Rafael Varane, he's close but not yet back as expected. So that is the team of Man United that is expected to take on, those are the injuries and players that are really in total doubt of what might happen when it comes to the game of United versus Brighton. So let's go to the team of Brighton and see who are really doubtful. The first player that is really doubtful is Evan Ferguson, being linked to Man United and very many other teams. He is really an injury-prone player. You know, when he scored a hat-trick, he was taken off the game. He was taken off the field of play because of an injury. That is it. And when he went for his national team duties for the Republic of Ireland, he pulled out of the national team due to any injury, and they are sweating to say it that he really comes to the fitness that is really desired. And the other player that is also having an injury is obviously Danny Welbeck. Is also going to be really assessed because he got a minor issue when they are beating Newcastle at their stadium. Julio Ensko and Jakub Moder, those are all out due to knee injuries, but they welcome Ansu Fati and Carlos Baleba into their team. Now, look at Brighton. When Ten Hag says that he wants 3 center forwards, he obviously means it. Brighton now has 3 center forwards. They're having Evan Ferguson, they're having Danny Welbeck, and there is João Pedro. You know him very well. They signed him at £30 million from the team of Watford that plays into the championship. So if a team like Brighton is having 3 center forwards, then we should be having 3, because when one gets an injury, you see what's happening. And for Brighton, they only have João Pedro as the fully fit player or forward for that game. And for United, both our center forwards are really and readily available to take on the team of Brighton. Now, if you really have a great mind, remember that Erik ten Hag faced his first wrath of the Premier League when he lost 2-1 to the side of Brighton. You remember that very well. The game was at Old Trafford, and very many people came out and really insinuated that he's not going to obviously have a long spell at the club of Man United. Something that I really said that first game cannot obviously be used as a yardstick to see to it that this person obviously takes on the exit door of Manchester United, and he went ahead to prove them wrong. And for any manager, I give him 10 games. 10 games are really enough to obviously show to it that you are going to take this team to the next level. That is it coming in from the game that we played. When we played away from home, we lost to them by 1-0. The game was going to end 1-1, was going to end 0-0, but Luke Shaw raised his hand and got hold of that ball, and it was a penalty in the dying minutes. And the former player of Brighton, currently playing at Liverpool, that is McAllister, went ahead and obviously put that ball into the back of the net. It shows you how ugly it got for the team of Man United, and Brighton went ahead to scoop 6 points off us last season. Something that I believe is not going to be the sake this season. It's not going to be the case this season. It's obviously going to be something different altogether. But Brighton is a very good team, by the way, and they don't respect their enemies or their opponents, whether they're playing away from home or at their home. They obviously coming through and obviously attack you and really press you at the front foot. And how is the style of play going to play? How is the style of United play going to be? I think we are obviously going to try to have control of the game and sometimes try to hit them on the break, because they are a free playing team. They don't obviously park the bus, and with United, they enjoy playing against teams like those who are obviously going to come in through and obviously attack them. I don't know whether Dizabi is obviously going to come in through and obviously put in some new tactics, but we wait and see how that really pans out in that game. Now let's go to the predicted starting 11 of Man United that most of you are eagerly waiting onto this beautiful YouTube channel of ours. Now, the system for Erik ten Hag is a 4-2-3-1, and we anticipate that it's obviously going to happen and obviously going to get us a win that we deserve and desire as a team of Man United. We go to the players. We start off with the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. I think it's his time to obviously coming through and obviously starting between the stitches of Man United. I've seen people trying to label an agenda onto the player who has just gone ahead obviously coming through, and I said, what are these people all after? You know, you are judging a goalkeeper after 4 games. You know, David De Gea messed up almost his first season at Man United, and ever since then, he went on to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And Andre Onana, proven goalkeeper, coming to Manchester United, it's obviously one of those scenarios that you will ever want to see happen at that side. And when you look at the capabilities of Andre Onana in a game like this of Brighton, obviously you need a goalkeeper like him, because in the game of Arsenal, he helped us obviously stop the pressure. You know, he's good with the ball on his foot, and I think in this game, he's obviously going to do it better and better and better, because we are going to be playing at Old Trafford, and you never know, he might even find himself being the initiator of certain attacks in the final third because of his well ball distribution. So, Andre Onana in goal. Right back, obviously, it's going to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and is obviously going to be having a very busy day to take on Mitoma. But we know how Aaron Wan-Bissaka went ahead and obviously closed in Mitoma in the previous 2 games he played. In the semi-final of the FA Cup, he closed him down very well, and in the game we played away at the Amex Stadium, he obviously went ahead and obviously closed down him very well. So I know he's obviously going to be facing Mitoma, and I know he's going to close down Mitoma very, very well. After that, we have another player to start on the left back. That is Diego Dello. I think he's going to start. Sergio Reguilon is not yet to start a game for Man United, because these games are really tough, and I think United will obviously find themselves in a position of playing maybe him in the Carabao Cup, because it's coming soon in the middle of the week, because that is the game that Ten Hag will be willing to rest his player, and that is none other than Dalot, because he needs to reserve him a little bit, obviously get him on the way. But Dalot, after closing down and pocketing Bukayo Saka, he's obviously going to be facing one of the highest scoring players at Brighton, known as Solly March. Solly March this season has gone 8, obviously play 4 games and scored 3 goals. So it shows you the wrath of this player, Solly March, and what he brings to the team of Brighton. So that's why I tell you that Dalot needs to be on the best of his game. But I know he's obviously going to do the job, because he has been playing for Portugal into that position, and he has seen himself really play both of the 2 games, and he played as a left back for the Portuguese national team. Then the central defense is where we are obviously going to be having lots of wandering changes. Going to leave a divided opinion, but this is my say on to who is to play into the central defense. For my case, on the right side of the central defense, without Rafael Varane, I obviously have to play one player, that is Lindelof on that side. And on the left side of the central defense, I cannot give Maguire a game. I bring in John Evans straight, guys. I bring in John Evans because John Evans is a better player. He reads the game better than Harry Maguire. He cannot collide with these central defenders. Like you saw Harry Maguire contribute to the goal that Scotland scored against England, even against Ukraine. He was the same guy. And if at all Erik ten Hag really loves Harry Maguire to obviously not lose his head, he shouldn't bring him in a game like this. This is a game not made for Harry Maguire, because Brighton is a proactive team. They are having skilled players like Ansu Fati, Mitoma, Gross, even João Pedro, the centre forward, is really talented. If at all they happen to pass Evan Ferguson's feet, then that's going to be another long day for Harry Maguire. So I don't really want to see him start. I just want to see Evans and Lindelof obviously play into that central defense. Lindelof on the right side of the central defense, and John Evans on the left side of the central defense. And that's how I would prefer my defense to look like in such a situation. That is it. Now, after that, we go to the central midfield. Obviously, however much Casemiro really went ahead to play in South America, I obviously start him. Alongside who? I've seen people say Sofiane Amrabat, but I think for Sofiane Amrabat, it's really going to be hard for him to start. If at all he went and played for Morocco and was not injured, then he would have found it easy. I would have found it easy in my mind to say that Ten Hag is going to start him, but they are fresh players that are going to hate to play in the national team, and Eriksen is obviously going to start ahead of him. And if at all Sofiane Amrabat is to come on through to play a part in the game of United, then he's supposed to come off the bench, and I'll be very excited for him to be on the bench. Now, the central attacking midfield role obviously is the Captain Fantastic, coming in through with 3 assists and a goal from the Portuguese national team, and also Eriksen coming in with 2 assists and a goal, meaning that we are really great to see these 2 people coming in through doing the needful for the team of Man United. So that is the starting 11 of Man United, and we are left with how many? We are left with I think 3 players to go. Now, the most big question is, who is going to be playing as the right attack midfielder for United? Antony is off in Brazil to see to it that he really gates these cases of is it Ingrid and Gabriela, and he's out. Jadon Sancho has been axed by Erik ten Hag. He's training with the under-21s. Jadon Sancho said he's not going to apologize to Erik ten Hag, meaning that he has gone ahead to obviously knock on the exit door of Man United. Now, who is left? I think this man finally gets his chance. That is Facundo Pellistri. Facundo Pellistri, I think, is going to get himself a chance to play into this game of football. And I won't be shocked if at all Garnacho starts on the right attacking side of the midfield, but I would prefer Facundo Pellistri to play into that position very, very well. So Facundo Pellistri time, as I told you in the previous video I did, and hope you guys are really ready for the Uruguayan international. Left forward, obviously, it's Marcus Rashford coming in through to obviously try to do the needful, having 2 assists against Nottingham Forest and a goal against Arsenal. Obviously shows you how good he is, and he looks like he's heading back to where he deserves to be. And you want to see him scoring those goals and obviously putting in a couple of assists. If he can go to a double figure of assists and go to 30-40 goals a season, that will be Marcus Rashford, and we'll be so much elated to see him at the club of Man United. Then, who is leading the line? I think it's Rasmus Hojlund for me. Anton Martial, I like him, and we just need to give the guy the game to start. You know, for Anton Martial, I would start him in the game of Bayern Munich when they're playing away from home, because you need a player with a hold-up play like him. But for a game like this, let's give Rasmus Hojlund a chance to play some 60 minutes into the game of play, and then we see Anton Martial really start off from the bench and obviously come in later to obviously do the needful. So that is my starting 11 predicted by me. I don't know whether Erik ten Hag is obviously going to line up like that, but all I want to confirm to you is that 90% of that team is going to be looking like that. Some changes that might not shock me in the defense: Harry Maguire being played. That won't shock me if at all ten Hag wasn't for Harry Maguire. Then Garnacho starting on the right attacking side of the midfield won't also really shock me. He can also go for Martial on the left, Rasmus Hojlund through the center, and Marcus Rashford on the right. That is also possible. So my prediction is that we are winning this game by 3-1. We are winning this game. This is Old Trafford. If you are going to play away at Brighton, I think it would have been a different prediction altogether. But this is Old Trafford, where we never lost a game ever since we lost against Brighton. So they are not going to beat us. And remember, this time round, we are having a center forward, that is Rasmus Hojlund, who is really fresh, young and hungry, and can give us a lot. Running through the center, hold up play, his skill set, he's a clinical player. He gives you aerial presence, good on the ball, good in the air and on the floor. That is Rasmus Hojlund for you. And I think his confidence is not on the floor, it's up in the ceiling, and he's here to come in through and obviously destroy the team of Brighton. But Brighton also has players like Ansu Fati, who obviously have to change this game. Mitoma, player to watch, and Gross, you know, that guy that really plays onto the right attacking side of the midfield. Solly Match, there is also Gross. So they're having some good players, but I think their midfield is obviously weakened. Grob and Gilmore, I think they are not all. They have not yet reached the levels of Caicedo and McAllister. But they're having, is it Baleba? He's really a very talented player that's going to come in through and obviously do the job. So guys, your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. I've gone ahead to give you my prediction. I don't know what your prediction is, but Rokan David remains my name. And this is the United Matters channel. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God bless you abundantly. I'm out, and my most viewers and subscribers, Barakallahu Fikum.